Hello everybody and welcome back to the 97 English course, and in today's recording we're going to be actually going over Unit 7, Inventions and Discoveries. So as usual, we start with the key vocabulary and then we move on to the listening. Here we go. About, airport, arrive, bicycle, boat, bus, bus station, car, come, drive, exactly, fast, flight, fly, go, journey, leave, method, million, motorbike, nearly, on foot, on time, over, percent, plane, public transport, railway station, road, rush hour, sail, ship, speed, stop, street, taxi, ticket, traffic, train, walk, wheel. Okay? Simple pronunciation. Now let me actually open this right like so. And here we have a picture of the environment, and actually I'd like for you to pause the video for a second and just try to analyze what's in the picture in front of you. So here I can see, a river, a boat, people walking, bicycles, motorbikes, cars, a bus, a train, railway, okay, a ship, I can see mountains, I can see the sea, and I can see airplanes. So let's go actually to exercise A, listen and point. Okay, so we're going to listen to a few words here, and all of these words will be or can be found in this picture right here. So I'll play it once, no distractions, and then I'll play it again while pausing to find the words.
110. Unit 7. Inventions and Discoveries. Lesson 1. Listening. Exercise A. Listen and point.
A bicycle. A boat.
A bus,
A car,
A plane.
a ship,
a train,
a road,
A river.
the sky,
the sea,
tracks.
There is a boat on the river.
There are 3 cars on the road.
I go to work by bus.
How many planes are there in the picture?
Where's the ship going?
Have you got a bicycle?
Are there many people on the train?
Do you like walking?
Right? Let's play that one more time.
1. Discoveries. Lesson 1. Listening. Exercise A. Listen and point.
A bicycle.
This is a bicycle right here, you guys. Okay?
A boat,
A boat. This is a boat. Okay?
A bus,
A bus. This is a bus right here. We all know what a bus is.
a car,
A car. Here we have 3 cars actually. So just pick one. So a car.
A plane.
A plane. If we go up top, we actually see 3 planes. Okay?
a ship,
Here is a ship. A big boat is called a ship.
a train,
A train. Here we have a train.
a road,
Here we have the road that, you can use to drive your car or bus.
A river.
Here we have a river.
sky,
And we have the sky up top here. Beautiful blue sky.
the sea,
We have the sea. So you guys remember I think it was Unit 5 or something like that. We talked about the difference between a river and a sea. Okay, so this is a river and this is the big sea. Okay,
tracks,
here we have tracks. A tracks is the kind of the road, but for trains. Okay? So a track is the special road that the train uses to move.
There is a boat on the river.
There is a boat on the river. There is a boat right here on the river.
There are 3 cars on the road.
Here we can see 3 cars on the road. 1, 2, and 3.
I go to work by bus.
I go to work by bus. Here we have the bus.
How many planes are there in the picture?
We have 3 planes in the picture.
Where's the ship going?
Where is the ship going? And surprisingly, you guys should know this, the ship is going east. Okay? So guys, remember, east, west, north, and south. So from the looks of it, looks like the ship is going east.
Have you got a bicycle?
Have you got a bicycle? Okay, question. So here we can see the bicycle. So I'll personally say yes, I have a bicycle. So yeah.
Are there many people on the train?
Are there many people on the train? I'm guessing yes. I mean, you can't see, but a train is known for being able to carry a lot of people around. So yes.
Do you like walking?
I really do like walking, and I can see people here walking, so yes. Right, that's it. Okay, that was simple enough. Right, now let's move on. Here we have exercise B, listen and complete table 1. Let's actually open this right here. Okay, so the researchers say that 1,100,000 people go to work by car each day. Okay, so I'm guessing we're gonna listen to just a small comprehension here, and we're gonna have to write it down. So I'm actually gonna let this play the first time, easy, and then I'll be pausing it the second time and answering the questions.
111. Exercise B. Listen and complete Table 1.
Part 1.
As you know, transport is a very important part of town planning. So today we're going to look at how people travel around a town or city. The first country we're going to look at is New Zealand. How do most people get to work? According to a recent survey, most people in New Zealand go to work by car. The total population is a little over 4 million people. However, the researchers say that 1,100,000 people go to work by car each day. So you can see this country has a big problem.
Part 2.
Walking is in second place. 93,000 people walk to work. That's 93,000. In third place is the bus. 52,000 people go to work by bus each day. That's not many, is it? Nearly 60,000 people in total ride to work. That's 60. 41,000 go by bicycle. And 17,000 go by motorbike. Yes, 17,000 for motorbikes. Only 15,000 go by train. Maybe trains are very expensive. Finally, 13,000 people go to work by another method. For example, on roller skates or on a skateboard.
Part 3.
Okay, we can look at these numbers in a different way. What percentage of people go to work by car in New Zealand? Now, where is it? The answer is 82.6%. Here are the percentages for the other methods. Walking, only 6.9%. Next is going by bus, 3.9%. So that's 3.9% for buses. What about bicycles? 3%. Only 1.2% use a motorbike, and going by train is less, at 1.1%. All the other methods add up to 0.9%. So there is some surprising information here.
Alright, so that was quite long. Now we're gonna listen to it again, but this time I'll be pausing it. So let's actually skip. Okay, so let us go forward here.
So today we are going to look at, as you know,
1.
Let's go here. Yep.
As you know, transport is a very important part of town planning. So today we are going to look at how people travel around a town or city. The first country we're going to look at is New Zealand. How do most people get to work? According to a recent survey, Most people in New Zealand go to work by car.
Okay, so the first method and most common method in New Zealand is transport by car, okay?
The total population is a little over 4 million people. However, the researchers say that 1,100,000 people go to work by car each day.
Okay, so now let's pause this for a second. So the number of people that use a car daily to go to work or just run some errands is, what was it? 1,100,000 people. Wow, that is a really high number. So I would probably do it like this. 1,100,000. Alright, let's move on.
So you can see this country has a big problem.
And by the way, the reason he's saying that that country has a big problem is because you guys know that cars are not really that they're not really good for the environment. At least not yet. I mean, we're still looking for alternatives, but so far, you know, cars, they emit carbon dioxide into the air and they cause all sorts of problems, and the biggest factor being pollution and such. So that is why he's saying that it's a big problem for the whole world and not just New Zealand.
Part 2.
Walking is in second place.
Okay, now this is healthier and both better and more eco-friendly is walking. Okay, so now this is much better, and now he's going to tell us the number of people that walk each day.
93,000 people walk to work. That's 93,000.
Okay, so 93,000 people. Not anywhere near car users, but it's better than nothing. So 93,000 people walk to work every day. And, oh, here we go.
In third place is the bus.
Okay, here we have bus, or otherwise known as public transport. And let's see how many people use that.
52,000 people go to work by bus.
Okay, so every day 52,000 people go to work by bus. Okay?
Each day. That's not many, is it? Nearly 60,000 people in total ride to work. That's 60.
Okay, so that's almost, yeah.
41,000 go by bicycle.
Okay, so this is the one that I was actually looking for, 41,000 by bicycle. I kind of got confused there for a second when he said 60,000, but it was 41,000 for bicycle. So 41,000, and this is not much at all, so like literally barely. So let's keep going.
And 17,000 go by motorbike.
Okay, so 17,000 people go to work by motorbike daily. Okay?
That's 17,000 for motorbikes. Only 15,000 go by train.
Okay,
Maybe.
And actually even lower than that. That is actually really weird, and I think the reason for that is probably because the trains are probably expensive in New Zealand, and that is why not a lot of people use it. Because in some places, the train or metro or things like that are, heavily used, but that does not seem to be the case at all with New Zealand. So train will be 15,000 people.
Trains are very expensive.
Yep.
Finally, 13,000 people go to work by another method.
Okay, another method, and I'm guessing probably something along the lines of probably a skateboard or something like that. So 13,000 people use other means of transport daily.
For example, on roller skates or on a skateboard.
Part 3.
Okay, we can look at these numbers in a different way. What percentage of people go to work by car in New Zealand? Now, where is it? The answer is 82.6%.
A whooping 82.6%. Wow. That just shows how much cars make transport so much easier. It's insane.
Here are the percentages for the other methods. Walking, only 6.9%.
6.9%, so not even close to the car transport method at all. Okay, so let's say if it's 6.9, let's say 7%, not even remotely close to 82%.
Next is going by bus, 3.9%.
3.9% for bus users, so 3.9%.
So that's 3.9% for buses. What about bicycles? 3%. Only 1.2% use a motor.
Oops. So 3. Oh, actually, sorry. So 3% for bicycle users. Oh, and that's an O. That is not a 0. Okay, and here we have motorbikes, even lower at, what did he say, 1.2? So he said 1.2%.
Motorbike. And going by train is less, at 1.1%.
Even less at 1.1% for train users.
All the other methods add up to 0.9%. So there is
others, adding up other means of transport, only goes for 0.9%.
some surprising information here.
Yep, that was actually really surprising. I did not know that. I guess you live, you learn. So let's move on. Here we have exercise C. Listen and answer. How many people, this is an example, so how many people go to work by car in New Zealand? So let's actually play this right here.
112. Exercise C.
By the way, you guys, I'm sorry I paused it, but try to answer the questions, okay? He's going to ask some questions now. Pause it if you have to and answer the questions, and I'll play it again and answer it.
Listen and answer.
1,
How many people go to work by car in New Zealand?
2,
What percentage of people go to work by car?
3,
How many people go to work by motorbike?
4,
What percentage of people go to work by train?
5,
41,000. What's that?
6,
3%. What's that?
7,
What's the total number of people in this table?
Alright, now let me play it one more time.
E. Listen and answer.
1,
How many people go to work by car in New Zealand?
1,100,000 people go to work by car in New Zealand.
2,
What percentage of people go to work by car?
82.6%.
3,
How many people go to work by motorbike?
17,000 people go to work by motorbike every day in New Zealand.
4,
What percentage of people go to work by train?
1.1%.
5,
41,000. What's that?
That's the number of people that use a bicycle to go to work every day in New Zealand.
6,
3%. What's that?
That is the percentage of people that use a bicycle to get to work in New Zealand.
7,
What's the total number of people in this table?
1,331,000. Okay, so 1,331,000. And I think that's it. Alright, that was easy. Now we're going to listen again, exercise D. Listen and answer with true or false. Okay, so we're going to have some information regarding what we just listened to. And let's see if it's true or not.
113. Exercise D. Listen and answer true or false.
1. The car is the most popular method. 2. Walking is more popular than riding a bicycle. 3. The bicycle is in third place. 4. The train is not as popular as the bus. 5. Nearly 60,000 people ride to work. 6. Nearly 10% of people go by bicycle or motorbike.
Right, let's play that one more time, but this time I'll say the answers as we go.
113 and answer true or false.
1. The car is the most popular method.
That's true.
2. Walking is more popular than riding a bicycle.
That is true.
3. The bicycle is in third place.
That is false.
4. The train is not as popular as the bus.
That is true.
5. Nearly 60,000 people ride to work.
That is not true. Okay, so false.
6. Nearly 10% of people go by bicycle or motorbike.
By bicycle or motorbike is not true as well, so false. Okay, and I think that's it. That was really simple. Now let's move on here. And here we have some pictures of, verbs that are used or associated with the equipment or vehicles in the picture. So for example, here we have a plane, so fly, drive, ride, sail, and walk. Okay, now let's actually listen here. Here we have listen and number, just a simple listen and number. You guys know the drill.
114. Exercise E1. Listen and number.
1. Drive. 2. Ride. 3. Walk. 4. Sail. 5. Fly.
Alright, so listen to that again.
1. Listen and number.
1. Drive.
Okay, number 1 is drive.
2. Ride.
2 will be ride.
3. Walk.
Number 3 will be walk.
4. Sail.
4 will be sail.
5. Fly.
And 5 will be fly. Now let's listen and answer. Number 2 here.
115. Exercise E2. Listen and answer.
1. Do you drive to college? 2. Do you have a bicycle? 3. Do you walk a lot? 4. Can you fly a plane? 5. Where can you sail in your country?
Okay, now I'll be saying the answer as we go, and I might have to pause it just a little bit.
Listen and answer.
1. Do you drive to college?
Yes, I do.
2. Do you have a bicycle?
Yes, I do.
3. Do you walk a lot?
Yes, I do.
4. Can you fly a plane?
No, I cannot.
5. Where can you sail in your country?
On the sea. So I can sail on the sea in my country. Alright. Let's move on here. And here we have skills check 1. Okay. So here we have something, that might sound cliche, but can actually be really helpful and helps to set kind of the mood and the tone of how you're going to perceive a certain lecture. Okay, so before predicting information, so before you listen to a lecture, think, what is the lecturer going to say? And this goes with basically any tutorial or anything new that you want to learn and try and get better at. So instead of going in completely blank, try and ask yourself, so if I know that, let's say, today's unit, for example, is called Inventions and Discoveries, what is the unit going to be about? What is the recording going to be about? Before I start talking, you should ask yourself these questions. what will the unit be about, okay? Without even just looking at pictures or anything, just getting your head warmed up, you know what I mean? And trying your best to kind of figure out what we're going to be talking about, right? So here we have guess the speeds and listen and copy speeds and dates into the table. So obviously we're going to listen first. Let me open this here. And here we have obviously another comprehension, but this time we're going to have to write these down here. So for example, speed for a plane, or actually world records. That's cool. And the dates for when it happened. So let's give it a listen.
116. Exercise F2. Listen and copy speeds and dates into the table.
The record speed for a plane is 7,692.66 kilometers per hour. The record was set on the 28th of March 2004. The record speed for a car is 1,227.98 kilometers per hour. The record was set on the 15th of October 1997. The fastest speed for a motorbike is 518.45 kilometers per hour. This record was set on the 14th of July 1990. On the 18th of May 1990, a train travelled at 515.30 kilometers per hour. What is the record speed for a bicycle? 50 kilometers per hour? 100? 200? On the 3rd of October 1995, a bicycle travelled at 268.83 kilometers per hour. The bicycle was behind a car.
Alright, that was pretty interesting. Now let's listen to it again and solve the exercise.
Into the table.
The record speed for a plane is 7,692.66
kilometers per hour. Wow, that is a really big number. Actually, let me listen to that again.
Is 7,600.
So 7,692.66 kilometers. Wow. Okay, so 690. Oh, I'm not writing. 692.66. Okay.
92.66 kilometers per hour. The record was set on the 28th of March 2004.
28th of March 2004. So 28, and I could write 3 and 4. 4 as in 2004.
The record speed for a car is 1,227.98 kilometers per hour.
Oh wow, so 1,227.98 kilometers per hour. Wow, that is really fast.
The record was set on the 15th of October 1997.
Okay, so record was 15th of October, so that is month number 10. 15th of October 1997. Okay?
The fastest speed for a motorbike is 518.45 kilometers per hour.
518 point, what was that? 45? I am not writing for some reason. So 518.45. Okay, and when did that happen?
This record was set on the 14th of July 1990.
14th of July. July is month number 7 of July 1990. So I can just write 90 here.
On the 18th of May 1990, a train travelled at 515.30 kilometers per hour.
A train traveled at 515.30 kilometers per hour. Still really fast. Wow.
What is the record speed for a bicycle? 50 kilometers per hour?
Wait, do we not get the date?
What is the record speed for a bicycle? On the 18th of May, 1990, a train travelled at 515.30.
Oh, he actually said it in the beginning. That went completely over my head. So 18th of May 1990. So the same year. Interesting.
Kilometers per hour.
What was
At
that?
515.30 kilometers per hour. What is the record speed for a bicycle? 50 kilometers per hour? 100? 200? On the 3rd of October 1995,
Okay, 3rd. So, no, 3rd of October 1995. So 95 here.
a bicycle travelled at 268.83 kilometers per hour.
268.83 kilometers per hour. Okay.
The bicycle was behind a car.
The bicycle was behind the car. That is insane to think about, you guys. Okay. Now, here we have skills check 2, and I cannot open this, so that's a bummer. But, or actually, yeah, I can. That's good. That's good. So we have the skills check 2 here: bicycle, drive, fly, plane, sail, ship, street, train, track, and motorbike. Write each word under the correct vowel sound. So 6, it'll probably be 6 will be bicycle. Okay. 5 will be drive. Okay. Map will be map will be track. Date will be sail. Okay. Plane. Street will be tree. Okay. And date will also be train. Let's actually give this a listen before we before we jump to the exercise, because I'm actually kind of confused.
117. Skills check 2. Listen and check.
Bicycle, drive, fly, plane, sail, ship, street, train, track, motorbike.
Okay, I think I get it now. So number 6 will be ship. Okay, so I'm gonna have to write it down. So ship. Okay, and I think that this is the only word that goes with the vowel here. So 6, ship, tree, like I said, street. Okay, and then 5, we have a lot that go with 5. So we have bicycle. Okay, you guys remember, I want the vowel, not the whole word, not the whole word. So 5, bicycle. Okay, 5, drive. Okay, and I have fly, and I have motorbike. Okay, then I have map. I only have one word with that, which is probably track. Yep, so track. And finally I have date. I can use plane, sail, and train. Okay, so that was simple enough. Now let us move on. And here we actually have the skills check 3, and he wants that O sound. You guys know that O sounds? For example, when I say boat goes. Okay, let's actually give it a listen.
118. Skills check 3. Listen. Tick the words with O.
boat, do, does, don't, go, goes, motor, home, how, no, no, now, road, phone, long.
Okay, so you guys see that O sound? It's kind of really noticeable. So boat, goes, no, don't, go. You guys get the idea? Doesn't necessarily need to have an OA, but as long as it has that pronunciation sound, that O sound, that's really all that matters. Okay, so let's play it one more time, and I'll just be ticking the words as we go.
118. Pick the words with O.
Boat, do, does, don't, go, goes, motor, home, how, no, now, road, phone, long.
Okay, that was simple enough, and just a simple way to end this listening lesson here, and I'll see you guys in speaking. Alright, you guys, so now moving on to lesson 2, speaking here. Here we have 8 pictures, and these are basically the equipment that are used for transportation nowadays, or not all of them are equipment, but you get the idea, okay? And let's go actually to exercise A here. Look at the transport methods. So here we have what is each method, that's number 1. So let's actually name these first. For example, number 1 is boat, okay? Number 2 is plane. Number 3 is bus. Number 4 is bicycle. You guys remember these? We just talked about them in the previous segment. Number 5 is motorbike. Number 6 is a car. Number 7 is walking, okay? And finally, 8 is a train, okay? So now he wants to know what verb goes with each method, okay? And this one is simple enough. So for example, when I ride on a bike, I'm talking about sailing, okay? So boat goes with sail, okay? Same thing here with plane. So plane, what do you do in a plane? You fly. Or what does a plane do? Sorry. A plane flies. Okay? Bus. So here we can have different verbs used with bus. So we can ride. So we can use the word ride with bus. We could also use catch, as in catch a bus. Okay? Take a bus. Get on a bus or get off a bus. So more than one verb here. Right? And we have bicycle, or known as bike as well. Both, and we use the word ride, okay? So I don't fly in a bicycle, I don't sail in a bicycle, okay? I don't catch a bicycle, I ride a bicycle. Number 5, motorbike, we also use the word ride, okay? So when I'm talking about motorbikes or I'm talking about bicycles, I use the word ride. And then after that, I'm pretty sure this is either a car or taxi. I know I said it was a car, but looking now, I think this is actually a taxi. So I could say ride a car, right? Or ride a taxi. So if I'm talking about a taxi, I could say take a taxi, get in a taxi, or get in a car, or get out of a car. Okay? Then we have walking, or going on foot, and we just use simply the word walk, okay, as in the verb. And finally, train, we use the word ride as well, okay? So the same as bike, bus, motorbike, and what was that? A car. Yep. So ride. And we could also use catch or take, just like a bus actually. So I could say, I can ride a train, okay? Or get a train ride. Not ride a train. I can get a train ride. Or I could say, I could catch the train. Take the train. I could take the train to work, or I take the train to work. I'm getting on the train. I'm getting off the train. Alright? So now let's actually, on exercise B, here we have a conversation. So let me open this up. And we're going to listen, alright? Then we're going to listen again. And finally, you guys should be able to make the same kind of conversation with a classmate. Okay, so let's listen.
119. Lesson 2. Speaking. Exercise B1. Listen.
How do you get to college?
I come by car.
How long does it take?
About 45 minutes.
45 minutes? How far is it?
It's only about 10 kilometres, but the traffic is very bad.
Okay, well, let's listen to that one more time. Okay.
119. Speaking. Exercise B1. Listen.
How do you get to college?
I come by car.
How long does it take?
About 45 minutes.
45 minutes? How far is it?
It's only about 10 kilometres, but the traffic is very bad.
Okay, you guys, so this is actually kind of how you start a conversation in your day-to-day life, okay? So for example, you can go right now to a classmate or your parents or your teacher or whoever's there and just a normal question. So how do you get to school, or how do you get back home, or how do you go out, when do you go out, just things of these nature. And once you get an answer, you could always elaborate more, but don't go too far, right? So don't push it too much, because you're not too sure if the individual in front of you is ready to talk more or not. Okay, so once you kind of get in the mood of talking to someone, or kind of take a hint that someone actually wants to talk to you, then you could start elaborating, or kind of just going further or deeper into the conversation, if you will. All right, so now actually I'd like for you to try and spark a conversation with a fellow classmate, and let's move on. Okay, so this is actually really interesting here. Let's actually take the skills check one first. Here we have defining things, right? So here it says we often define things with a general word, then a fact. Okay, so in English, when we define things, this is not always, by the way, so this is not like a said and done rule, okay? So just we kind of use it often, okay? When we define things, we start with a general word, okay, so just a word, and then a fact about said item or thing, okay? So let's take an example here. The underground is a kind of train, okay? So a general word, we're defining the underground here, so underground here is the thing that we will want to identify, right? And is a kind of train. A train is obviously a very general word that people use daily, right? And then I slap a fact on there. So I say it travels under the ground, okay? This is a fact. No one can deny that the underground does not travel under the ground, okay? So the underground is a kind of train. It travels under the ground. One more example here. A tram, okay, so a tram is the thing that we're trying to identify, is a kind of bus, okay? Bus, also a general word. It goes on tracks on the road, okay? Now this is a fact, okay? It goes on tracks on the road, okay? And here it says we can use similar language when we don't know a word. So for example, let's say I don't know the word the underground, right? Or I didn't hear it correctly. So I could, instead of saying the word, I could say it's a kind of train, it goes underground, okay? So similar language if I don't know the word, okay? This is not always definitive, you guys, but it is often used, okay? Now let's move on to actually my favorite part of this lesson here. Here we have the pie charts, and you guys are gonna love this. This is so much fun. Okay, so how do you read pie charts like this? Okay, so first of all, take a clean look here. So as you can see, here we have this purple color, right? And we have a percentage beside it, right? And here we have sky blue, kind of light green, green, gray, pink, and finally orange. Okay, you guys? So now, take a look here. So there's always going to be something up top just to give you more information so you can actually read the pie chart. Okay? So let's actually look at number one. So we have here, we have underground. Underground as in, you guys remember that? Here we have the underground. It's a kind of train, and it travels under the ground. So this is a kind of train or a special train that people use. Also, I think it might be known as metro. But anyway, so underground, and as you can see, the color is blue, okay? And then I have motorbike, and the color is yellow. Bus, and the color is orange. Train, color is normal green. Bicycle is sky blue, okay? Tram is light green. Walk is pink. Taxi is also kind of really close to orange/red. Car is pink. And finally, gray for other. Okay, you guys? So now let's actually hear you once from figure 1. How do people get to work in Melbourne, Australia? And I'll actually get back to this in a second, but let me just move on for a second right now, and I'll be right back. So here we have exercise C, work in pairs, and here we have the other pie chart that we're talking about, because we're going to actually compare the two right now. So let me actually zoom in a little bit more. So here we have, how do people get to work in London, UK? Okay, so the first one is Melbourne, Australia. Okay, and here we're talking about London, UK. So if I want to write, for example, a report about the differences of what people use, or what are the percentages of transport that people use in these two different cities, okay, this is how I would do it. So here we have the blue, or I should say, yeah, this is blue. Underground, okay, motorbike, bus, train, bicycle, tram, and you can see the different colors correlating with different percentages on the pie chart. Okay, walk, taxi, car, and finally other. Okay, so now let me actually go down here, and here we have, how do people get to work in Melbourne, Australia, and how do people get to work in London, UK? Okay, so you look at the first method here, car. Okay, and remember, don't confuse the two, alright? So this is Melbourne, Australia. So we're gonna go back here, and he wants car, right? So look at the color of car. It's purple, right? And go look at purple on the pie chart, and you'll see right here 69.8 percentage, or at percent. So this is the percentage of people that use a car to go to work in Melbourne, Australia. So I'll go here. Let me actually zoom out for a second. Car, method, and 69.8. And you could continue, the table here, or this list, and then move on, or you could go from each one. So I'll personally just do the first one, and then I'll go to the second one, and then I'll just a quick comparison between the two, and then we'll move on. So car, number 1 will be 69.8%. Okay? Second will be train. So let's go to train. Where is the word train? Here we have train, and it's normal green. So normal green will be 11.7%. So train will be 11.7%. Then after that, we have tram. Let's go to tram. Tram is light green. So light green is 7.7%. Okay? I hope you guys are finally getting the idea of how to use pie charts to your advantage. So tram will be 7.7%. And then after that, we have the walking method. And let's actually go to walk here. Do we have walking? Yep, we do. And it's pink. And here, the pink color has 5.4%. So 5 for walking, we have 5.4%. Then we have bus. Okay, so let's go to bus here. Okay, here we have bus, orange color, and to the orange color we have 2.2%. So for bus we have 2.2%. Then we have bicycle. Okay, let's look at bicycle. Here it is, sky blue. And looking at sky blue, even lower than bus, standing at 2.1%. So bicycle, 2.1%. And finally, other means or other methods of transport. have the percentage of, what's the color for other? Gray. So for gray, we have 1.1%. So the lowest of all of them, other, at 1.1%. Okay? Now, let's go to table 2. How do people get to work in London, UK? Okay? Now, change your mind. This is a whole different story. So underground, you guys remember that train that we talked about, or metro? So underground, we're going to go to the word underground, and let me actually zoom in. Here we have blue. So for this blue right here, make sure you get the colors correct, you guys, okay? So underground and 46.3%. So let's go underground and 46.3%. What is the next one? Train. So train will be normal green as well, okay? And we have it at 22.4%. So train will be 22.4%. Then we have the third method, car, and surprisingly, it's a lot lower than Melbourne, Australia. So car, let's go to car here. Where is it? Here we have it, car, purple, okay? And looking at purple, we have 16.3%. So 16.3%. Then we have bus. Bus will be orange, and orange will be 10.5%. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit, you guys. So bus will be 10.5%. And then we have motorbike, okay? Motorbike, the word motorbike. Here we have it. Color is yellow. And motorbike will be 2%, so 2.0, okay? And then we have bicycle again. Bicycle. Here it is, sky blue. Bicycle will be at 1.4%. So go to bicycle and write 1.4%. Then we have taxi. Okay, this is interesting. So taxi has kind of that same color as bus. So I'm guessing it's something around the line of, I'm not too sure if I see, oh, it's actually in red. I'm sorry. So it's not like bus. So bus is orange. It can get confusing, you guys. I just got played, so be careful. So bus is in orange and taxi is in red. And here we have red will be at 1%, okay? Be careful. Don't make the same mistake I did. So bicycle, or taxi, sorry, not bicycle. Taxi will be at 1%. And finally, walking. And it seems that we have walking here, okay, in pink. And it seems that people do not walk in London. So 0.1% of people work daily, or use walking to get to work daily. So 0.1. Okay. Now just a quick comparison between the two. So a lot of people seem to use underground as the main method of transport in the UK to get to work. So 46.3%. Okay. While in Melbourne, Australia, the most used method is car. So car has 69.8 and underground has 46.3 for London. Okay? And then we have train. The train is 11.7% in Melbourne, Australia. And for London, the train has 22.4. Okay? Quite a difference there. Then we have tram. Obviously, there is no tram for London, so we'll skip that. Then we have walking, and actually it's quite the difference. So walking for Melbourne, Australia is 5.4%, while walking for London is only 0.1, and I find that insane, by the way. Then we have bus. So bus from Melbourne, Australia is 2.2%, and bus for London is, I think it was 10.5%. Okay, so 10.5% for bus for London, and for Melbourne it was 2.2. Quite the difference as well. And then bicycle was 2.1 for Melbourne, Australia, and it was 1.4 for London. It seems that people in London don't want to get fit. It's a joke, by the way. So other is 1.1 for Melbourne, Australia, and I don't think there's an other for London. So these are all the transport methods, or most of them at least, for London. Okay? So just a quick comparison. Now let's go to pronunciation check here. Just a quick pronunciation check before we move on. Always remember, you guys, when I'm using the word takes, gets, you're just gonna have to memorize these, and honestly, just you'll get better with time when your pronunciation gets better. So with words like takes, gets, you pronounce it with an S, okay? So I don't say takes. I don't use a Z. I use an S, okay? So takes and gets. But when I'm talking about goes, does, is, you guys see, I'm pronouncing it not with an S, but with a Z. So I didn't say goes. I say goes. I don't say does. I say does. Okay? Makes a world of a difference, you guys. Gotta remember these. And when I'm talking about the word is, I don't say is. I say is. So goes, does, is. Just a quick reminder, okay? Now here we have, listen to a student's talk and complete the extract below. Use most, some, or a few. Okay, so I'll let you guys listen to it the first time and then I'll solve it the second.
120. Exercise D. Listen to a student's talk.
My talk is about getting to work in New Zealand. Okay, in New Zealand, most people don't use public transport. Some people go by bus and a few people go by train. Most people use their own transport. They go to work by car. Some people ride to work. They ride a motorbike or they ride a bicycle. Some people walk and a few people use a skateboard. What's a skateboard? Well, a skateboard is a piece of wood. You stand on it and it has wheels. I think in the future, more people will use public transport in New Zealand. Okay, that's the end.
Alright, that was pretty self-explanatory and actually quite fun. Now let's listen to it again, but I'll be solving it as the dude goes.
120. Students talk.
My talk is about getting to work in New Zealand. Okay, in New Zealand, most people don't use public transport. Some people go by bus and a few people go by train. Most people use their own transport. They go to work by car. Some people ride to work. They ride a motorbike or they ride a bicycle. Some people walk and a few people use a skateboard. What's a skateboard? Well, a skateboard is a piece of wood. You stand on it and it has wheels. I think in the future, more people will use public transport in New Zealand. Okay, that's the end.
Alright. So when I'm talking about, you guys remember we talked about this in the previous pie charts. So when I'm talking about, the most of something, I say most, right? So most people, as in not quite all people, but it's a really high number. So I say most, okay? Some, as in kind of not all, but it's also not few. So some people, okay? And when I'm simply, there are not a lot of people that do something, I say a few, okay? And depending on where you live, this can change. So here he's talking about New Zealand. So in New Zealand, most people don't use public transport, okay? Most as in there are some people that use public transport, but just they're not enough, okay? So I could say in New Zealand, few people use public transport, okay? So most people don't use public transport. Some people go by bus, and a few people go by train, okay? So I could change it up to however I like. Not going to get into too much detail. It doesn't require that much thought, okay? Just a simple reminder. Now, let's move on. Here we have, okay, so it seems that we finished this lesson, but just a quick skills check here. Giving a talk. Alright, so this is number 2. You guys remember the first one where I talked to you guys? Now, this is kind of a continuation to it. Now, here we have 2 points. Do not speak too slowly and practice your talk. And you guys remember when I told you guys to practice your talk, whether that means talking to someone about the talk before or simply getting it out there, talking to yourself, recording yourself. You guys remember that? Talking in front of the mirror. These are all ideas on how you can practice your talk. And secondly, we have the do not speak too slowly or too quickly. So a lot of people make this mistake. They can be really scared of, speaking fast or quickly, that they forget that they can sometimes talk too slowly too. People don't want a snail talking to them, you guys, okay? So just remember, keep it calm and collective. Deep breaths, okay? Big deep breaths to calm you down so you don't speak too quickly, and on the same time, you're able to identify if you're talking too slowly and get faster just a little bit, okay? So don't speak too slowly and do not speak too quickly. And here's one more thing. Pause between sentences. You're not in a race, right? So take your time, okay? But don't be too slow, all right? This is what makes it different. Have your pause between sentences, but do not talk too slowly, okay? So now try and give a talk, about your country or city, just like the fellow here above talked about New Zealand, okay? You can use some, most, or a few with people. So for example, what do people do in your city or country, okay? Prepare the talk, and you can give the talk to your class or your teacher, okay? All right, you guys, I'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, welcome back, and now we're going to be moving on to lesson 3, vocabulary and pronunciation. And take a look at the pictures here. Actually, you guys know when you're like at, for example, a train station or an airport, something like that, and you see flight numbers, you see the times at which the plane or train departures, and when the destination, obviously, and arrival times and stops and etc. You guys get the idea. So these are the boards, and this will be our main focus in this lesson right here. So let's go to exercise A. Look at the transport information boards above, okay? So we already took like just a brief look at them, okay? And now he wants to know, let me actually open this here. So here we have railway station departures board, okay? So this is the railway station, okay? That's the board for it. And here we have airport arrivals board. And he wants to know, do we see any flight numbers? Or in which picture do we see flight numbers? Is it both? Is it one of them? You guys get the idea. So obviously, first one, flight numbers. You will never see flight numbers in a railway station. That just doesn't make sense. A flight is for an airport. So flight numbers will be airport. Okay? Then we have destinations. Okay, so now looking at destinations, I don't think we can see destinations here. Okay, so we can see from, but we don't see the destination. But here, you guys can see the destination, okay? The names of the places. So destinations will be railway. And then departure times. So I think departure times are also going to be the railway station. Here we can see flight numbers. We can see bags. We can see the places from that the flight is going to take off. But we don't see any departure times. But here, as you can see, we can see the departure times. So here we go. And then we have arrival times. And I'm not too sure. I don't see any arrival times over here. Interesting, because I don't see any arrival times for both of them, actually. Interesting, but I could departures, arrival times. I don't see it anywhere, so I'll just leave this blank for now. And then we have stops. So we can see stops, okay? So any stops in between will be written here. Okay, so stops will obviously be railway station. I'm not too sure about arrival times. I don't see any arrival times for both of them here. Okay, so now let's move on. Simple exercise. Now exercise B here. Look at the railway station departures board and answer the questions. Okay, so we have some questions that we're gonna get the answers to from this departures board right here. So question number A, or not number, question A. Does the 13.01 train go to Calais? And by the way, guys, this is pronounced Calais, not Calais. It's a city in northern France. Okay, so does the 13.01 train go to Calais? Let's go to 13.01 train right here. So let's check. Here we go, and that is true. It does go to Calais. So I'll probably write yes. It does. Okay. Now, question B. Does the Ashford train leave at 13.15? So, at 13:15. Sorry, so the Ashford train leave at 13:15. Let's actually check it here. No, the Ashford train leaves at 15:13, not the opposite. Okay, so we can write no, and then comma. It doesn't. Okay, I could add more information, so I'll probably say it leaves at 15:13. Okay, simple enough. Now, question C, where does the 11.13 train go to? So let's go to 11.13. It goes to London St. Pancras. So I'll write down it goes to London, capital letter, you guys, don't forget that. Oh, London St. Pancras. Okay. Then we have exercise D. How many trains go to London St. Pancras? Let's actually check. So this is one. Okay. There are multiple stops for each train, you guys. So make sure you check all the, all the text that's written. So London St. Pancras right here. So that's one. Count with me. Do we see any more? London St. Pancras. Yep. You guys see? That's two. London St. Pancras. Okay. And then we have one more here. 15:13. London St. Pancras. So we have three so far. And finally we have one right here. London St. Pancras. 16:13. Okay, so how many trains? I'll probably just write 4. Okay, what time is the first train to Brussels? So let's actually check here. We have, oh, here it is. First train to Brussels is the 11:55 one. So I'll just write 11:55. And now, where does the first Amsterdam train stop? Let's actually check this. So first train that stops, or the first train, Amsterdam train, and where does it stop? So it stops at, let's actually check. We have it right here. So the first word of Amsterdam, okay, and it stops at Brussels, Berchem, Rotterdam, and finally Amsterdam. So probably write all these down. So here we go, Brussels, okay, and then we have Berchem. That's how it's spelled, right? So Berchem and Rotterdam. Okay, let me actually. Oh, I wrote it as damn. And finally, Amsterdam. So Amsterdam. Okay. So first, yes, it does. Does the 13.01 train go to Calais? Yes, it does. The Ashford train leave at 3:15. No, it doesn't. It leaves at 5:13. Where does the 11:13 train go to? It goes to London St. Pancras. How many trains go to London St. Pancras? 4. What time is the first train to Brussels? 11:55. Where does the first Amsterdam train stop? It stops at Brussels, Berchem, Rotterdam, and finally Amsterdam. Okay? Now, let's move on here. Okay, actually, before I go here, let's talk a bit about this pronunciation check. So here, just a simple, to give you an idea of basically how to tell time when talking, okay? So when I want to say, when I want to tell the time, for example, we say hours and then minutes, not the opposite, okay? So for example here, we have 12:24, okay? You just saw me make this mistake like just a couple minutes ago. I said 12.24. Nobody says that in English. I was just kind of confused. So you say 12:24, okay? So for example, this will be 12:24. Okay, but what do you do when it's kind of like one number here? So for example, it's 14:05, for example. I don't say 14:05 because that just sounds weird and really short. So let's say, for example, here, check the time right now for me. So 1:06. If I say it's 1:06, or even if I say 1:06 a.m., it still kind of sounds really weird. So what we say is we actually say the 0 here. We say the word O. Okay, O as in, you guys know the letter O. Yeah, so because it resembles kind of the 0, so people usually say 14:01. It's 1:07. If somebody asks me right now, what's the time? I could say it's 1:07 a.m. Okay, now that sounds a lot more natural. Okay, and then we say hours with a clock or 100. I personally use a clock, so we could say it's 13 or 1 o'clock. Okay, 13 is 1, so 1 o'clock. Okay, or 1300. Not a lot of people use this. Feel free to use whatever you like, but a lot of people use the o'clock. So it's 1:07 o'clock, or it's 1 o'clock. Okay, you guys get the idea. Now let's go to exercise C. Look at the airport arrival. Actually, let me check the arrivals board. Okay, so now this is the other picture, and we're gonna listen to a conversation. Let it play the first time, and then I'll solve it the second time.
121. Lesson 3. Vocabulary and Pronunciation. Exercise C1. Listen and complete the conversation.
Excuse me, what time does flight 5825 arrive?
Let's see, 5825. Is that the Detroit flight?
That's right.
It arrives at 12:24.
Is it on time?
Yes, it is.
Alright, pretty straightforward conversation between a passenger and just simply the guy sitting at the desk. And she was basically asking about her flight. So now let's play it again, but this time I might pause it just a little bit just so I can keep up with their talking.
121. Lesson 3. Vocabulary and Pronunciation. Exercise C1. Listen and complete the conversation.
Excuse me, what time does flight 5825 arrive?
Let's see, 582.
Okay, so he said, let's see, 5825. That's the flight number, by the way, you guys.
5. Is that the Detroit flight?
Is that the Detroit flight?
That's right.
That's right.
Arrives at 12:24.
Is it on time?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay, so excuse me, what time does flight 5825 arrive? Let's see. 5825, is that the Detroit flight? That's right. It arrives at 12:24. Is it on time? Yes, it is. Okay, simple conversation, pretty straightforward. Let's move on. Okay. Alright, so here he wants us to imagine that we're in an airport in Britain. Okay, so now we're gonna have this table right here. Give it a second. Okay, and then he says choose one of the flights, listen to the announcements. So you guys know when you're, like I said before, when you're in an airport and you hear you know, somebody not yelling but using a really loud microphone to tell people flight number this and that and status and when it goes and last call or this and that. You guys get the idea. You're gonna even understand it even more once we start here. So let's listen to this one time and then we'll play it again.
122. Exercise D1. Listen to the announcements.
This is the last call for BA Flight 193 to Dallas. Would the last remaining passengers please go to Gate 23 immediately? That's the last call for BA 193. Alitalia Flight AZ 203 for Rome is now boarding at Gate 21. Would all passengers for AZ 203 to Rome please go to Gate 21? This is a security announcement. Please do not leave any bags unattended. Unattended bags will be removed and may be destroyed. BMI Airlines BD 3449 to Milan is now boarding at Gate 20. Would all passengers for BD 3449 to Milan please go to Gate 20? This is a special announcement for passengers on American Airlines AA047 to Chicago. Your flight is delayed by 55 minutes. Please wait in the lounge for further announcements. Saudi Airlines Flight SV102 for Riyadh is now boarding at Gate 18. Would all passengers for SV102 to Riyadh please go to Gate 18? This This is the last call for BA Flight 7061 to Madrid. Would the last remaining passengers please go to gate 27 immediately? That's the last call for BA 7061 to Madrid.
Alright, that was quite plenty of information. Okay, so this is what you usually hear when you're in an airport or railway station. Just this lady or man talking really loudly over the microphone to let people know the status of the flight or train and the gate that you should go to get on your flight or train. So now let's play it again, but this time we're actually, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, but she actually says a couple of flight numbers that are not even in this list right here. Okay, so don't panic, just wait, listen to it all, and whenever you see your number, just write the status. It's either going to be boarding or last call, and write the gate number. Okay,
100.
With the last BA flight. This is the last call for BA Flight 193 to Dallas. Would the last remaining passengers please go to gate 23 immediately? That's the last call for BA 193. Alitalia Flight AZ 203 for
okay, that's us. AZ203 for Rome.
Rome is now boarding at gate.
Okay, so status, we're going to be writing here boarding. Okay, let me actually put that in capital. Boarding. Okay, that's the status. And let's check the gate number.
21.
Gate number 21. Okay, that's how it's done, you guys. Okay, listen carefully to the number and to the city. Okay.
Would all passengers for AZ 203 to Rome please go to gate 21? This is a security announcement. Please do not leave any bags unattended. Unattended bags will be removed and may be destroyed. BMI Airlines BD 3449 to Milan is...
Okay, that's us. So BD 3449 Milan. Now let's check the status.
Is now boarding.
Okay, boarding again. So boarding. Okay, and now let's check the gate number.
At gate 20.
Gate number 20. Okay, so gate 20, status boarding, flight number BD 3449 and Milan.
Would all passengers for BD 3449 to Milan please go to gate 20? This is a special announcement for passengers on American Airlines AA047 to Chicago. Your flight is delayed by 55 minutes. Please wait in the lounge for further announcements. Saudi Airlines flight SV102 for Riyadh is now boarding.
That's us, you guys. So SV102 Riyadh. Okay, let's check the status.
At gate 18.
I'm not sure I quite heard that. Let me rewind just a second.
For Riyadh is now boarding.
Okay, boarding. So I got it. Boarding. That's the status. And gate number.
At gate 18.
Okay, gate number 18. Simple enough. Let's move on.
Would all passengers for SV102 to Riyadh please go to gate 18? This is the last call for BA Flight 7061 to...
Okay, so BA 7061, and the status was actually last call. Okay, so he actually got the first one last, so always be careful of the number. Okay, not just the letters, but the letters and the numbers as well. And just to be sure, that last bit, check the city as well. And status, last call, and let's check the gate now.
Madrid. Would the last remaining passengers please go to gate 27?
Gate 27. Okay.
Immediately. That's the last call for BA 7061 to Madrid.
Okay, and last call means that if you don't hop on board soon, you will be left out. Okay, now let's move on here, and I think this is going to be the same exercise, but instead of an airport, it'll be a railway station, and this will be a lot interesting and a lot similar. You guys should be able to do this on your own the first time. Okay, so we have 2 minutes worth of audio, so pause whenever you like. I'm not going to pause it the first time. Okay, try and get as much information for this list here as possible, and I'll solve it. Check your answers.
124. Exercise E1. Listen to the announcements.
The 15:35 train to Poole will depart from platform 10. That's platform 10 for the 15:35 train to Poole. This service is delayed 5 minutes and will depart at 15:40. The 15:39 train to Epsom will depart from platform 1. That's platform 1 for the 15:39 train to Epsom. This service is delayed by 5 minutes and will depart at 15:44. The 16:05 train to Portsmouth will depart from platform 14. That's platform 14 for the 16:05 train to Portsmouth. This service is delayed 10 minutes and will depart at 16:15. The 15:42 train to Shepperton will depart from platform 4. That's platform 4 for the 15:42 train to Shepperton. This service is delayed by 10 minutes and will depart at 15:52. Please remember to keep all your personal belongings with you at all times. Unattended bags will be removed and may be destroyed. The 15:50 train to Reading will depart from platform 19. That's platform 19 for the 15:50 train to Reading. This service is delayed by 15 minutes and will depart at 16:05. The 15:53 train to Alton will depart from platform 12. That's platform 12 for the 15:53 train to Alton. This service is delayed by 2 minutes and will depart at 15:55.
Alright, lots and tons of information. Wow. Okay, so as you can see, they added some trains that were also not on this list, so you gotta be careful. Listen to the place, listen to the time, okay? And based on these, we're gonna be able to answer the platform. And this is the time, but sometimes delays do happen. So for example, 15:39 here, it's probably going to be delayed. So the expected time, the new time that the announcer is going to say. Now let's listen to that one more time.
100.
Train to Poole. The 15:35 train to Poole will depart from platform 10. That's platform 10 for the 15:35 train to Poole. This service is delayed 5 minutes and will depart at 15:40. The 15:39 train to Epsom.
Okay, that's us. So 15:39 train to Epsom. Okay.
Will depart from platform 1.
Okay, so platform will be 1. That's the departure platform.
That's platform 1 for the 15:39 train to Epsom. This service is delayed by 5 minutes.
Okay, so it's delayed by 5 minutes.
And will depart at 15:44.
Okay, so now the expected time will be 15:44. Okay, that's how it's done, you guys. Now let's keep going.
The 16:05 train to Portsmouth will depart from platform 14. That's platform 14 for the 16:05 train to Portsmouth. This service is delayed 10 minutes and will depart at 16:15. The 15:42 train to Shepperton.
Okay, that's us. So 15:42 train to Shepperton right here. That's us.
Will depart from platform 4.
Okay, platform number 4.
That's platform 4 for the 15:42 train to Shepperton. This service is delayed by 10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes, so about 15:52, I think.
And will depart at 15:52.
Alright, that's it. So now the expected time will be 15:52. Okay, so train to Shepperton. The time is 15:42, but it's delayed 10 minutes, so 15:52, and it departs from platform number 4.
Please remember to keep all your personal belongings with you at all times. Unattended bags will be removed and may be destroyed. The 1550 train to Reading will depart
That's us, you guys. 1550 train to Reading.
from platform 19.
Okay, so platform 19. Alright.
That's platform 19 for the 1550 train to Reading. This service is delayed by 15 minutes.
Okay, 15 minutes delay, so I'm guessing from 1550 it will be 16:05. Let's check it.
And will depart at 16:05.
Here we go.
The 1553 train to Alton
That's us again. 1553 train to Alton.
will depart from platform 12.
Platform
That's
12.
platform 12 for the 1553 train to Alton. This service is delayed by 2 minutes and will depart at 15:55.
Alright, simple enough. So expected now is 15:55. Time was originally 15:53, and platform departure will be 12. Okay, simple enough. Now let's move on. Alright guys, welcome back, and now we're going to be moving on to lesson 4 reading. And in this lesson, actually, we're going to be specifically talking about, transport and how traffic can really affect, you guys know the rush hour and the times where, it's really busy in your city. This is what we're going to be talking about in this lesson right here. So we have A, discuss these questions, and 1, is there a problem with traffic in the capital city of your country? And now I'm going to actually be talking about Jeddah, since this is the city where I live, okay, so not the capital city, okay, so is there a problem with traffic in the capital city of your country? So since I haven't been to Riyadh, I guess I'll talk about Egypt, so my country. I'm from Cairo originally, and during the time that I actually went to Cairo, I realized that there was a huge problem with traffic, from people not following the laws correctly to just people cutting each other off. It was honestly a mess. So would I say so? Yes, there is a problem with traffic, especially during rush hours, that time from around, I'd say 4 p.m. to around 6 p.m. and in the morning from around 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. That time is really bad. Okay, so question number 2, what about other towns and cities in your country? So I haven't been to any place in Egypt other than Cairo, so I know this can be weird, and obviously this is not a definitive answer. You guys can ask yourselves these questions and give an answer of your own based on your country, but I'm just, different cities that I've been to, okay? So what about the other towns and cities in your country? And what about here means referring to the last question, is there a problem with traffic there as well? So I'm going to talk about a whole different city here. Now, Jeddah, the place where I I live in right now, and I'd say I don't really notice much of a traffic problem. Yes, it can get pretty hectic during rush hours, but other than that, things seem to be going smoothly. Okay? Now, question number 3, when is the rush hour in the morning in your country, and what about the evening? All right? And here I'm going to be talking about the rush hour in Saudi, or not Saudi, just Jeddah. So rush hour in the morning is usually from 7:30 a.m. to around 8:30. So 1 hour, and this hour right here is usually really hectic, right? So you see cars going left and right. Everybody just wants to get to work as quickly as possible. Kids want to go to school. So this is the rush hour timing in Jeddah. Why is there a rush hour? Actually, no, I'm sorry. What about in the evening? Okay. So in the evening, on weekdays, I don't think there's much of a rush hour in the evening. However, on the weekends, it can get really hectic from around, I'd say, 8 p.m. to around 9:30 p.m. Okay, so that kind of hour and a half, it can get really hectic because, people want to go out on the weekends, want to have fun. You guys get the idea. So now question number 4, why is there a rush hour? So have you guys ever asked yourselves this question right here? So why does a rush hour happen? And the reason for that is actually really simple. or at least in my point of view, it's really simple, and there's not much that you can do about it. So the reason for that is, a lot of people, have a specific or not, a kind of a fixed time, that a routine that they have to go to work by. For example, let's say he has to be in the office by 8 a.m., right? So when all these people have that same exact schedule or really close, okay, and they hit the road on the exact same time or really close timing, that causes a rush hour, okay? Kids want to go to school, adults want to go do their jobs. You get the idea. People want to start moving. Some people need to get from place to place, and that causes a rush hour. And actually, I've heard people, say to me, well, this can be fixable with, for example, making roads bigger, or just simply making more roads. And it's not that simple, you guys. And actually, studies have shown that if there were more roads, there would just be more traffic, okay? It's something that's unavoidable, but however, there can be, laws and kind of road stuff that could fix, or not fix the problem, just potentially just keep things a lot smoother and flowing much better, okay? So now, let's go to exercise B. You're going to read a text, okay? So actually, let me open this right here. And here we have, look at the heading of the text. Can you think of an answer to the question? And this actually reminds me, before we go, let me talk to you guys about this skills check 1 here. We have preparing to read. So when you have like a simple article or a paragraph to read, here's how you start, okay? So you read the heading, okay? So you don't just jump in like a maniac straight to the text, okay? Read the heading first. What does the article want to talk about, okay? What is the article referring to? So here we have, when is a bicycle faster than a car? And see, it's something that even catches your eye. You kind of, now I feel like I want to read it now, just to get the answer of this. So when is a bicycle faster than a car? You don't start reading a book without reading the heading, do you? The exact same thing here, okay? Look at any tables, okay? So if you're just skimming, just for a second, you can always go and check if there are any tables. So here I can see a table. We have method, speed. I may not understand too much, but just getting a general idea of what to expect when I finally start reading. Okay? And finally, read the first sentence of each paragraph. Okay, and this also applies if you're just skimming through, for example, to answer a quick question. Read the first sentence of each paragraph. So here we have the first paragraph, how fast can cars go? Read the first one. Most cars can do 120 kilometers per hour. Okay? I don't need to read the rest unless I have to. Okay? So this is for just skimming. Obviously, if you're going to read it, all of it, then just read the whole thing. Okay? Now, let's move on to exercise B. Let's open this right here. So here we have, look at the heading of the text. Can you think of an answer to the question? Okay. So here's the heading. When is a bicycle faster than a car? And can you guys think of an answer to that? Yes, that's right. Probably during rush hours. During rush hours, cars can go really slowly to the point where you think that if you just got out of the car and started moving or just walking around, you'd probably go home faster. Okay? So look at the heading of the table. Okay? So here we have heading of the table. What does the table show? Okay, the table shows, I'm guessing, average speed or average speeds in rush hour in London, UK. So let me actually, here we have 2. So we'll write this down. So what does the table show? So let's say it shows the average speed of different transport methods, okay, during, for example, instead of saying from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., I could say during rush hour, during the rush hour in London. Okay, and I understand this is pretty long, so go back and write it. Okay, so London, did I write? Yep, I did. Okay. Now, 2B, what time is the rush hour in London? This one's pretty simple. It's written right here in table 1. Average speed in rush hour from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. in London, UK. Okay? So rush hour, we'll just write from, or actually F capital, from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Okay? Simple enough. Or what time? From 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now, number 3, look at the table. How fast can you go in the rush hour in a car? So let's go look at the list here, or the table. In a car, let's check cars. 15 kilometers per hour. Wow, that is slow. Okay, so look at the table. How fast can you go in the rush hour in a car? We'll just write 15 kph, as in kilometers per hour. And on a bicycles, 18. See? Bicycles are even faster than cars during rush hour. That's the answer to our question here. So bicycles, 18 kilometers per hour. Now we have question number 4. Look at the first sentence of each paragraph. Which paragraph tells you the answer to the question of the heading, or in the heading? Actually, let's go to the heading. When is a bicycle faster than a car? So the thing is, now when I close this, these are going to be gone, so make sure you write these down, okay? Because I'm going to have to close it so we can read. So let's actually close this right now. So which paragraph tells you the answer to the question in the heading? So how fast can cars go? Not this one. How can a bicycle be faster than a car? And there you go. I think we have our answer. So let's read. The answer is easy. Go to the capital city of any country in the world. Look at a busy road in the rush hour. The bicycles are going faster than the cars. So we got our answer from paragraph 2. So just write paragraph 2 here. And then we have question, or 4b, the reasons for driving. Okay, and this one's really simple. Why do people drive to work in capital cities, or how fast can cars go? I'm guessing it's the last one. So why do people drive to work in capital cities? Some people are too lazy to go by bicycle. Understandable. Some people do not want to get wet or cold or hot. And this is actually a big problem that I myself had. You know, I wanted to be, healthier, and I decided to start walking to school, right? But I realized quickly that, I can get really sweaty by the time I get to school. So it usually takes me about 50 minutes to get to school, right? But by the time I got to school, I was really sweaty to the point where my whole day was ruined because of it. And I didn't really have enough space in my bag to have extra clothes, and it was just a hassle. So although a car is not best for environment, it does, really help us as humans. So most people want to be comfortable in a little room on wheels, obviously referring to a car. Okay, so here we have the reasons for driving. We'll have paragraph number 3. Then we have finally number C, just for C, the speed of a car. How fast can cars go? This one's pretty simple. Let's read it. Most cars can do 120 kilometers per hour. That's more like it. Some cars can do 150. What about bicycles? Most people can ride a bicycle at about 18 to 20 kilometers per hour. So the speed of a car will be paragraph 1. Okay? Now, here we have find the words in the box in the text. Okay, so let me actually, here we have do, easy, busy, lazy, wet, comfortable, and wheels. Is each word a noun, a verb, or an adjective? And what does each word mean? Okay, so let me actually, or is the text going to be available here? I'm not too sure. Let me check. Okay, yes it does. Yes it does. That's really good. Okay, so do. We're going to check to see the word do, and actually it seems that we already got it. So most cars can do. Okay, so this is obviously a verb here, so can do as in a verb, okay, after the word can. So do will be a verb. Let me write this. Verb. Okay, and then we have the word easy. Most cars can do 120 kilometers per hour. Some cars can do 50. What about bicycles? I don't see word easy here, and as you guys can see, I'm skimming. I'm not reading all of it. Okay, the answer is easy. Okay, so here we have easy. So after verb be, the answer is easy. I'm guessing this is an adjective, you guys, describing word. So let's just write okay, as an adjective. Then we have busy. Pretty sure we'll find this word. Really simple. Busy, busy, busy. Go to the capital venue. We'll look at a busy road. Here we go. Busy road. Also an adjective describing a road with busy. So, adjective. Okay? And then we have lazy. I'm guessing this is also going to be an adjective. Some people are too lazy. Okay? Lazy. Adjective. We have a lot of adjectives here. Okay? And then we have wet. So, wet. The answer is easy. Wet, wet, wet. Here we go. Do not want to get wet or cold or hot. Okay, so this is obviously part of an expression, but it is an adjective, okay? So people do not want to get wet, okay? Describe, so adjectives as well. And then we have comfortable. Comfortable, comfortable. I'm guessing this one, so yeah. Most people want to be comfortable in a little room on wheels. Want to be comfortable, okay? I'm also describing something, so adjective again. Wow, all of these were adjectives. And then finally we have wheels. Where's that? Wheels, wheels, wheels. Room on wheels. And wheels, this is just simply a noun, okay? So we'll just write noun, okay? That was simple enough. Now let's move on. I'm guessing that's it. Oh, here we have the skills check 2 here. Using want. Okay, so we can use want with an object, or we can also use want as a second verb. Let me elaborate. So, if I say, I want a car, I use the word want and use an object right after. Simple, right? I want a PlayStation 4. I want a car. I want a ship. I want a boat. Simple enough, okay? However, I can also use want as a second verb. Totally usable as well. So, I want to use my car. I want to use my PlayStation. I want to use my pen. You see? So now I can use want as a second verb, and I can use or to use as the verb. Okay? So you could use want with an object, or you could use it as a second verb. Totally up to you. Alright? And here we have exercise E. Does any information in the text surprise you? Yeah, probably this right here, the fact that cars move at the speed of freaking 15 kilometers per hour during rush hour. Hell, I could walk faster than that. I'm just kidding. But that's about it, you guys. Okay, so simple lesson right here. Now, I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, you guys, so now moving on to lesson 5, writing and grammar. Okay, and let's just hop right in. So here we have exercise A. One letter is missing from each row. So instead of last time me reading the skills check first, we're actually just going to write these down and then we'll read the skills check. So guessing, we have a letter missing, obviously. So we could say who, show, now, and work. And I'm guessing here he's probably going to let us know how. You guys remember when we talked about how some letters sound differently in different words? This is kind of a continuation of that skills check. So here we have what, map, plane, and car. And here I'm guessing we're going to use I, so which, and then drive, first, and finally friend. And last one is E, so when, evening, river, and person. Okay, and here we go. The skills check opens up. So we have spelling with A, E, I, and O. So one letter can have many sounds, like I just told you guys. So here we have examples. What, map, plane, car. Same as here. So see the difference. So pronounce the word what. It has that sound, okay? But map has an sound, okay? But look at plane. Plane has a normal A sound, okay? Car has okay? What? You see the idea what I'm trying to explain here? So different words, just because it's an A doesn't mean it's gonna be A all the time. It can be it can be A, it can be a quick So I hope you're able to get the idea. And then same thing with E, and we have when and evening. You see this? When, evening, river, and person. Different E's, different sounds. I, which, drive. You see this? So here it's not even pronounced. So which, drive, I, first, and friend. And then finally we have O, who, oo, show, o, now, ow, and work. Oh. Okay? So I hope this was just a simple exercise to start things off. Now let's move on. Here we have read the text. Give me a second. Some of the prepositions are wrong. Find them and correct them. Okay, so in this paragraph right here, there are some prepositions that are just out of the water, so we're gonna have to write them down. So Ruta lives on the island of Sala, but she works in the town of Ransala in the coast. Okay, so far I see this is wrong, so it's not in the coast, it's on the coast. You guys remember? We don't say in the coast, we say on the coast. Every morning she walks for the bus station. This is not true. We don't walk for the bus station, we walk to the bus station. And she gets on a bus to Pori. She gets off on the hovercraft stop. A hovercraft is a kind of boat. There is air over the boat. Hovercrafts go very fast at top of the water. And we don't say at top, we say on top. So on top of the water. The hovercraft goes from Pori for Ransala, sorry, but no, here this is not correct as well. So the hovercraft goes from Pori to Ransala. So to Ransala, from a place to another place, not for another place. It is about 3 kilometers, and it takes about 15 minutes. In Ransala, she walks at her office. You don't walk at your office unless you're inside the building itself. So I guess what he's trying to say is she walks to her office. Okay, now let's read that one more time. So Ruta lives on the island of Sala, but she works in the town of Ransala on the coast. Every morning she walks to the bus station and she gets on a bus to Pori. She gets off on the hovercraft stop. A hovercraft is a kind of boat. There is air over the boat. Hovercrafts go very fast on top of the water. The hovercraft goes from Pori to Ransala. It is about 3 kilometers. It takes about 15 minutes. In Ransala, she walks to her office. Okay? Simple enough. Now let's move on. Here we have a simple look at the boxes, and you guys remember the sentences where we have to put them together? You guys know the drill. So here we have Juan to the station, his bicycle, and rides. So I'm guessing it's something along the lines of he rides his bicycle to the station. So we could say Juan, I really want it, yep. Juan rides his bicycle to the station. Oh, okay, so Juan rides his bicycle to the station. B, he train to Adra gets. So he gets a train to Adra. And C, he catches a ferry to Cabrera. And this one's actually done. It's just that we have to change the full stop. So he catches a ferry to Cabrera. A taxi he takes to his office. So you can say he takes a taxi to his office. We just said that. You guys remember, to his office and not at his office. So he takes a taxi to his office. Alright, simple stuff. Now let us move on. So here we have exercise E. Look at table 1. This is actually interesting. So here we have how, and then there are some words missing. And then how does it take to college? So obviously the correct word for this question right here is how long does it take to college? As in how much time, you know. So how dash is it? I could say, how far is it, as in distance, so, okay? And I'll elaborate a little bit more in a second here, but how far as in the distance, okay? So how far is it? How long does it take to college? How do you get to college, okay? You can also say that. How do you get to college? Now let's actually look here at tables 2, 2A, 2B, and 2C, okay? Here we have I go, they come, dash, car, and bus. Okay, so here I can say I go by car, I go by bus, okay? By as in I use a car or a bus. Same thing with plural. They come by bus, they go by bus, okay? You guys get the idea. So here we're going to use by. Then here we have he goes, I could say on foot, okay? I don't say by foot, I say on foot. I could say he goes on foot. She goes by train, okay? So by train, she comes on foot. He goes by train. All right? So I'm actually gonna now let me actually, before we move on, let me just take a second here. And you guys know there are many words in English and a lot of the languages on earth. You know, there are a lot of words, and sometimes a word can have multiple meanings, okay? So let's take the word take, for example, right? So I can say, I take the bus, okay? If someone asks me, you know, how do you get to work every day? I could say, I take the bus, okay? What does the word take mean here? The word take means here to catch, okay? So I'm catching the bus, as in I'm going to go catch it, and then not catch it and bring it home with me. That's weird. No, I'll just hop in, okay? Go to the station, hop in, and go to my work, okay? But that's not the only meaning for take, is it? We also have take as in occupy time, okay? That also, it takes time. So if I tell you, let's say for example, I tell you, how long is it gonna take? Now I'm not asking about, you know, catching a bus or a car or a boat or whatever. I'm asking about time. How long is it gonna take? You see this? Okay? So multiple words can have very different meanings. So you gotta have that in your head. So if a thing doesn't make sense to you, or where it just doesn't fit where you think it should, always try and go back and see different meanings. Okay? So here we have I catch a bus. Okay? Now you can see what I'm talking about. They, catch here, different meanings. I drive a bus. They walk. I can't say they walk a bus. I could say they drive a bus, but that would be kind of weird. I could say I drive a car. They walk on foot, or just simply they walk. Totally normal as well. Now, here's the funny part. I can say he catches the underground. You guys remember the underground? That kind of train, underground. He catches the underground. Catches as in going and taking the underground. She drives. She walks. Okay? So now let's move on here to exercise G. Look at tables 3A and 3B. Define these words and use the words in the brackets. Okay, so what's a ferry, you guys? It's obviously a boat, and it goes from probably a coast to an island. So we could say a ferry is a kind of boat. It goes from the coast to an island. And I would actually write this down, but he's not giving me the options, so you're just gonna have to take it orally. So a ferry is a kind of boat. It goes from the coast to an island. Okay? Number 2, van, and we have car, okay? And it can carry things. Okay, so we can say a van is a kind of car. It carries things. Okay? Just a simple, brief explanation based on the words in the brackets. Nothing more, nothing less. Number 3, we have taxi, and we have car, carry people for money. So we could say a taxi is a kind of car, full stop. It carries people for money. Okay? Then we have number 4, jumbo jet. Oh, fancy name. Jumbo jet. And we have plane and carry 500 people. So we could say a jumbo jet is a kind of plane. Okay, so it's a kind of plane, full stop. It can carry 500 people, or I can say it carries 500 people. Both are correct. Okay? Now, let's go to table 2C here, actually. So here we have I take dash. I could say I take, you guys remember? Take. So I take a train, a bus, a taxi, a boat, a ferry, whatever it is, okay? Whatever method you use for transportation. And I could also say it takes, remember to add that S, 20 minutes, okay? So I can never say it take, okay? It catch, okay? It takes 20 minutes, it takes 30 minutes, it takes an hour, it takes a day, whatever it is, add that S. Now, let's move on to 3A here. Here we have a tram. You guys remember what a tram is? A subway is, okay, a kind of bus. Well, what if I got rid of that A here and I add an S? Now it's plural, right? So trams, I'd have to change this, okay? You guys remember verb to be? We'd have to get rid of the is here and add an R, okay? So trams are kinds of bus, or trams are a kind of bus. Sorry, well, that was weird. Kinds of bus. So trams are a kind of bus. Subway, or a subway, is a kind of train. Okay, and you guys know this from the name, a subway station, right? Here we have table 3B. It goes on tracks. It goes under the ground, okay? It always has an S, you guys. So it takes 20 minutes. It goes, okay? I don't say it go on tracks. It goes under the ground on tracks, all right? Now, here we have H. Look at table 4, okay? So we have table 4 here. And here we have adverbs, actually. So let me open this up, okay? So here we have adverbs as in definition and some examples. So what are adverbs exactly? Adverbs are words or phrases that modify an adjective, verb, or other adverb, okay? So it gives a slight modification to either an adjective, another verb, or another adverb, okay? So for example, we have words like gently, quiet, then, there, and probably we'll have more here, exactly, nearly, about, okay? Just a slight modification, okay? So here we have, I could say number 1 is obviously blank, so I could say dash 8 as in 8 people, okay? So number, I'd probably add 8, so I could say over as in more, okay? You see how that makes sense? Adverbs give a slight modification to the word after it, okay? So over 8 people. I don't know about you guys, but have you like ever seen like the BBC News or whatever news channel you watch, and they can say over 100 people have been killed, over this has happened, over this and that. So this is what usually the word over means, as in more than. So over 8 people, okay? Exactly. Here we have 100 people. We could say exactly 1,000 people. Okay, so we just add numbers here. That's not the point. So adverb, exactly as in the exact number. So over means more than, exactly the exact same, from the word exact, okay? So exactly 1,000 people. Exactly 1,000,000 people. Or exactly 1,000,000 children. Both are correct. Then we have nearly, okay? So nearly A as well. Nearly 1,000,000 children or people. So nearly as in it's not quite 1,000,000 people, but it's so close. Okay, so nearly. So it's not exact and it's not over by any means. So nearly is that we're super close, but not quite million. Okay? So nearly 1 million children or 1 million people. And then we have about. So what does about mean here? About, obviously you guys remember I told you, the words can have different meanings. So here, about means, you know, not quite, but yeah, a certain number. Okay, so I could say I have about 50 reals, right? As in, I don't think I really have 50 reals, but I have about that number. Okay, so about 10,000 cars. Okay, so it's not the exact number by any means, but it's about that number. So about 10,000 cars. Then we have about 500 bicycles. Okay, you see the idea? So here we have over, exactly, nearly, about. These are the adverbs. Focus on these now, and I'm sure we'll talk more about adverbs in the future. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, so now let's move on to lesson 6, writing and grammar as well. And here we have, do you need a or the in each space? And now let's just read the skills check first. So using a and the, we often use a or the with singular nouns. So for example, we're talking bus, train, metro, computer, laptop, television, whatever noun or singular noun it is. Okay, so here's the idea. We used a the first time we talk about something, and then we use the. So if I'm gonna start my conversation by, let's say, I go to school, or not this, let me just take the example here. Juan gets a train to Adria. First time I'm talking about a train, that's why I used a, right? But then if I'm gonna keep going by talking more about the train, I can use the or it, right? So I can say the train takes 45 minutes, or I can just simply say it takes 45 minutes, but for the sake of this skills check here, we're just going to use the. So the train takes 45 minutes. However, there's one exception to this. We use the when there is only kind of one, and let me elaborate more. So if I'm going to talk about something, but I'm just going to keep it to one sentence, right? Then I can start with the. So for example, Juan lives in the town of Gandesa, right? He gets a bus to the ferry stop. Okay, I'm not going to be talking anymore about a ferry stop, so he gets a bus to the ferry stop. Okay, but if I'm going to keep going, I should use a and the. And let's actually hop in right into the exercise here, and you guys should be able to understand it a little bit better. Okay, so here we have Ellie lives in dash, and you can always go forward, you guys, to understand how you're going to write it. So Ellie lives in so Ellie lives in a small village. It is on the Isle of Wight. And the reason I said it like this is because, remember, I started talking about the village, but I didn't stop. So I started with a, and then I said the Isle of Wight. It is referring to, obviously, the village. Okay, I'm not too sure what this is. This is weird, but let me just get rid of it. Dash village is called Totland. Because I'm talking about the village, as in it's Totland, and I'm going to be talking about it only once, so I could say the village is called Totland. Okay, Ellie doesn't work on the island. Okay, and the reason I said the is because we mentioned we briefly talked about the island, and then we switch it up. So she does work in a town. So instead of writing on an island, and it seems weird. Like imagine saying Ellie doesn't work on an island. It sounds wrong. Okay, some things in English just sound wrong. You got to be able to have a sense of understanding of what sounds right and what sounds wrong, and this will come over time. So Ellie doesn't work on the island. She works in a large town. Okay, so she works in, I don't say the large town, I say in a large town, and the reason for that is because I'm still gonna keep on talking about the large town. So it is on the coast. Okay, you see how that makes perfect sense? So she works in a large town. It is on the coast. Okay? Dash town is called Leamington. Okay? So the town is called Leamington. Okay, I'm going to talk about Leamington only once. Every morning, Ellie walks to the bus stop. Okay? Or no, actually, nope. Ellie walks to a bus stop. It is near the bank. She catches the bus to Yarmouth. So she catches the bus to Yarmouth. She gets off at the ferry stop, right? There is or actually, no, I'm not too sure if this is this should be so she gets off at a ferry stop. There is a ferry every hour. I can't say there is the ferry every hour because that wouldn't make sense. That just sounds wrong. So she gets off at, no, this is not A. This is definitely, we're talking about the ferry stop, not the ferry itself, you guys. I just got confused. So, the ferry stop, okay? A ferry stop is the place where ferries, aka big ships, just come to pick people up. So, there is a ferry every hour. She catches a ferry to Leamington. The journey, okay, so catching the ferry to Leamington is only mentioned once. So we could say she catches the ferry to Leamington. And I could say the journey takes 30 minutes. In Leamington, she walks to the office. I don't say she walks to a office. That sounds wrong. And now let's actually read this one more time, just in case I might have had, some mistakes. Let's check it again. So Ellie lives in a small village. It is on the Isle of Wight. The village is called Totland. Ellie doesn't work on the island. She works in a large town. It is on the coast. The town is called Leamington. Okay. Every morning, Ellie walks to a bus stop. It is near the bank. She catches the bus to Yarmouth. She gets off at the ferry stop. There is a ferry every hour. Okay. She catches the ferry to Leamington. The journey takes 30 minutes in Leamington. And finally, she walks to the office. Alright, you guys? So now let us move on. Here we have C. Join each pair of sentences to make one sentence. Okay, so we're going to read skills check 2. This is actually a really interesting lesson. So here we have joining sentences with is and are. Okay, so you guys see this? Excuse me. Ellie lives in a small village. It is on the Isle of Wight. Okay, so how should I do it if I want to, put them together, right? What you do is really simple. You see this subject right here, and you see this verb, just scratch them off. You guys know, just get rid of it, right? So I could say, Ellie lives in a small village on the Isle of Wight. See? Simple. I join them together. Just get rid of the subject of the second sentence and the verb. Okay? And let me elaborate just a little bit here. So here we have, notice the object of sentence 1 is the subject of sentence 2. Okay, so the object of sentence 1, the first sentence, is also the subject of sentence 2. Okay, and the verb is obviously is or are, and there's a preposition after the verb in the second sentence. So we can join this kind of pair in this way. Here you go. So Ellie lives in a small village, and go straight to the preposition, okay? Get rid of the verb and the subject. So Ellie lives in a small village on the Isle of Wight. The village has some very old houses in West Street, okay? Now let's actually hop right into the exercise here. Exercise C. Okay, so here we have 1. Ellie, this is the one. Okay, so Ellie, write that again. Ellie lives in a small village on the Isle. Let me actually, Isle, capital I, you guys. Isle of Wight. Okay? So Ellie lives in a small village on the Isle of Wight. She works in a shop in North Road. You see how I got rid of that verb and the subject? Simple as that. Just go straight to the preposition. So she works in a shop. Shop in North Road. Okay, number 3. The shop sells cell phones from Japan. Okay, I got rid of they and are, straight to from. So the shop sells cell phones from Japan. Okay, simple as that. Now let us move on. Okay, so here we have find and correct the grammar mistakes. Okay, so another text. Okay, and we have 12 grammar mistakes that we gotta correct. So let's go. In England, it take about 45 minutes. Okay, so I can already see the different. We use takes, you guys. Okay, remember when we gotta add the s. Okay, so it takes about 45 minutes for most people to get to work. Most English people travel near 12 miles. Most people, or the most people, actually we're not going to use the, we don't need a the here, so just most people in England use their own transport to get to work. To get to work, not to get work. That doesn't make sense. So to get to work. 62% goes by car, and 8% ride their bicycle. Not his. If you say his, then you're just referring to all the males in the country. So their, as in the whole population. So, and 8% ride their bicycles. A few people use public transports. Transport and not transports. Okay? 14% take the train, not train. Okay, so take the train or the bus. 12% walk, and 4% use not another methods, use other methods. Use other methods. Use other methods. Boom. For example, a few peoples, okay, so we remember, you guys, we don't say peoples. Okay, people itself is plural, so people. So a few people use roller skates. A roller skate is a kind of shoe. It have wheels. It always takes has. You guys never use have with it. So it has wheels. Okay? So how many was that? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so these are not 12, so I'm guessing we have more to solve. So let's go again. In England, it takes about 45 minutes for most people to get to work. Most English people, most English people travel near 12 miles. Okay. Most people in England use their own transport to get to work. 62% goes by car. Okay. Or not goes. I don't think it's going to be goes. So go by car. 62% go. Yeah, we'll write just go here. So 62% go by car and 8% ride their bicycles. A few people use public transport. 14% take the train or the bus. 12% walk and 4% use other methods. For example, a few people use roller skates. A roller skate is a kind. Oh, here we go. It's not is, it's is a kind. Okay, I'm talking about a special kind. So, is a kind of shoe. it has wheels. Okay, that was simple enough. Now let us move on. Here we have, let me open this. Here we have exercise F. Give it a second. Okay, here we go. So read the sentences, circle the correct word. You guys know the drill. So number 1, how you get to work, or how do you get to work? Okay, I'm asking a question. How do you get to work? Number 2, how far does it take, or how long? How long does it take? All right. Number 3, how distance is it? I don't say how distance is it. And I'm talking about, for example, if something's far away, how far is it? Okay. I never say distance with how distance is it. Number 4, I go on or by tram. So I use tram as a method to get by. Okay. 5, I or it. Now we're talking about it, so it takes 20 minutes. Number 6, a tram is a kind of bus. Okay, if you say a kind bus, then you're probably talking about a bus that has feelings. You changed the whole sentence. So a tram is a kind of bus. Number 7, I want to drive. Okay, just someone expressing what he wants to do. I want to drive. You don't say I want drive. I want to drive. 8, there are exactly 100 people in the group, or 100 people in the group. Okay, so there are exactly 100 people in the group. 9, about 10,000 or 10,000s people live in my town. So about 10,000 people, not thousands. 10,000 as in one. Okay, one, I guess, use it as a singular. So about 10,000 people live in my town. Simple enough. Now let us, oh yeah, no, we're not going to be doing this one. So I guess this was it, guys. See you in the next unit. Peace out.